here. Hey, and welcome to the Drive Your Line podcast. This is where we talk about everything karting, all aspects, chassis, engines, manufacturers, rules, races, series, and so much more. Be sure to come back and listen. Man, I'm in a good mood. Daniel, you in a good mood?
Yay!
Daniel got some calories. He's in a real good mood. We're not going to have any glucose crashes on us. Poor guy come in. He's looking parched. I had to run to McDonald's. We're running a little bit late, but I can't let my man go starving. Guys, I appreciate everybody waiting. The Drive Your Line podcast is in full swing. I even brought champagne tonight. It's so cool. Okay. Just so you know. Well, okay, it's not quite champagne because I can't stand the stuff, but it's a pretty good second. Drive Your Line podcast. We love all of our sponsors. Can we see our sponsor slide one more time? My friend. Guys, we can't put this on without these people. Tillotson Racing, Boxo USA, AKRA, American Kart Road Racing Alliance, Doorstep Peppers, TrailerAlarms.com, and FHS Oil. Of course, this is the Drive Your Line podcast. Motorsportstalentdevelopment.com is a big part of this now. And Drive Your Line KartSport, which is our race team, our shop, our brand, our comp kart dealership. That's what this is all revolving around, because we are not the only people in this sport that have the same model that many other teams and organizations do. We want to spread the wealth, share the love, and bring people together in the holy spirit of go-karting. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the happenings here in the sport real quick. And we can go ahead and get rid of that slide, sir. Talked to Van Gilder today with AKRA, and all of our pre-registrations for pit are looking exceptional. They have already exceeded their pre-registration numbers from last year. Yay, go-karters. Thank you for going out there and opening up your laptops and getting your pre-reg in. You have no idea how much pre-registration helps these organizations. Helps in scoring and timing. It helps in getting the flow down when they put their race schedule together, and it helps make the program work. Thank you. Please, if you haven't pre-registered, there's only a few days left on that pre-registration for Pittsburgh. This is the last race of the 2025 schedule on the AKRA national scene. It is the last race on the Dirt Kart Club point series. So if you are vying in points in any of those, now's your time to get in there, get it done, and get on the grid. Secondly, we have a great group of guests this evening. This all kind of developed quickly. And I have the new owner from what we know as the Twin Fountains Raceway, which is now City Kartplex, and his manager, who should be a common name and face with a lot of racers. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having us. For sure.
Please tell me how you got here.
Well, it's a long story. I'll make it super short. I was doing some track driving with a neighbor of mine, and one day he's like, my son isn't karting anymore, and I bet your boys would love to try this out. So he brought over to my house like 2 or 3 go-karts, left them for me, and said, here you go. And I knew nothing about these things. I didn't know what to do. I had yard carts growing up in South Georgia, so I knew nothing about what to do with these. We took them to some parking lots where we lived in outside Nashville, tried them out. My boys absolutely fell in love with it. And they're like, we want to do this. And that was in like November. And then our first winter break the next year, I think it was around 2021, we drove down to AMP, just hauled a trailer down there, took the karts and did a day there at the track. And then for spring break, we spent a week at Trackhouse, or GoPro at the time, in Charlotte. And then we came back here and found out about the Tennessee Karting Association that was running a race series at Twin Fountains Raceway. I had been to 2 of the preeminent kart tracks in the world. They'd operate flawlessly. The facilities were amazing. Then I came here, and what I found was a track that had been sitting here dormant since probably the early 2000s. It was not open to the public. There were horses grazing around. There were more transmissions and car parts than I'd ever seen in one place. Buildings weren't accessible, and you would come off the track and have about 2 inches of gravel on your tires. And that kind of set my entrepreneurial mind crazy. And then fast forward, a couple months later, I bought some kart parts from my friend Chris McCrone up in Northern Ohio.
Fellow dealer. Shout out to McCrone.
Yeah, and Chris and I got to talking, and he kind of planted the seed in my head about this kind of kart facility he was going to build up there, kind of my background. I was able to lend some help to him with what he was trying to do. And then it just set me on a 3.5 year journey to try to figure out how to do this. So I got to know all the track owners around the country, the GMs like Lucas, and people that were, making a difference in karting and have built amazing facilities. And they were so open and forthright about, what they learned and how they would do it differently. And from that, I built a model, and I was going to put this on 3 or 4 other pieces of property around Middle Tennessee while I had been bugging the owners to sell this to me. And one day they called and said, "Hey, we want out."
Really?
And so that's how I was able to get this place. Yeah, and I kind of knew from day one, after talking to all these track owners, I wanted to build 2 tracks so that we could have a very viable rental business, but so that we could also have a competition business and really build the community of karting that I quickly fell in love with my boys. So we kind of dove all into karting like I've seen a lot of people do. We raced here. We started going to Whiteland, to Newcastle, Trackhouse, AMP. And I just wanted to build something special because we had nothing like it within 5 hours of here.
So I'm actually from Ohio. So I've known Chris for a lot of years. And the guys at Comp Kart, I've known them for many decades. I mean, it's been a long time. And there's one thing about karting, the some of the aspects change, but the core never does. It really doesn't. It's still cohesive. It's still family. It's still probably the biggest bang you're going to get for your buck as far as motorsports in general, anywhere. Um,
Absolutely.
and we'll talk about that a little bit later in our podcast about the exorbitant expense of karting, especially at the middle tier and top tier ranks. But it's astounding that you started in 2021, and here we are 4 years later, and you are full tilt boogie.
Yeah, and I built this model. I just had a lot of great people in my camp that were helping me out. I had accountants looking at numbers. I had people in karting that kind of let me know how to make this thing work. And I'd always ask everybody what didn't work. And then if they told me those things that didn't work, that's the things that I wouldn't do. Right. And I think I just tried to be super methodical about it. And I wanted to do it right. And I wanted it to be a place that would give karters all those things I wanted to when we started, and my kids had this passion, and I wanted to be able to get them into it and be able to do it and be a part of the community, but I had no idea how to do it. And so I really was drinking through a fire hose as I was learning and trying to get going in the sport and learn about the sport and not do it the wrong way. And so I really wanted our facility to be a place where people could come and really have access to all those things that I wish I had when we started out.
Lucas, I know that you were at AMP for quite a few years. Could you tell me about your experience in karting and how you went from not being in karting to where you are now?
Yeah, so I ran a massive water park in Georgia. It was Lanier Islands at the time, and then I worked for Margaritaville at Lanier Islands as well. And just been in the entertainment life since I was 15 years old, just working at, that water park, within the hotel, security, pretty much anything that 1,600 acre property had, I had been involved in it. And then me and my wife had a kid, and it was just time to get out of the restaurant business. Had 18, concession stands / restaurants / bars underneath me. And it was just time to get out of it. Getting home at 2-3 in the morning just wasn't working with a newborn. And my best friend applied at AMP for, I think it was an operations manager, and then I applied for it and ended up getting it after he didn't. And he told me, he's like, "Hey, this will be a good fit for you." And so I applied for it and ended up getting it. And I think I took over as general manager of their karting facility about probably 3 or 4 months later, and just helped grow that program. I think, we were at 45 entries when I first started, and I think my last race there ended at about 185, 190, somewhere around there. And to fit that many people at Atlanta Motorsports Park takes an army. The parking's, very slim, but we made do with what we had. We had CK&A come out, and they showed me a lot of things. I was able to go look at other tracks, Trackhouse, Newcastle, just see what they did, to what we can adapt to make it work with what we had. And we did. And it was cool. And That's actually where I met Jeffrey there. So I think, everything starting in the karting industry led me to this moment, and that's how we got
How
here.
do you rank your previous experience in the entertainment industry to karting? Do you see a lot of parallels? Do you see a lot of things that you can, utilize from your previous experience that you feel enhance or improve the experience for your customers?
Yeah, I think, one of the biggest thing I saw an opportunity on in the karting atmosphere was customer service. Not a lot of places that I had, gone to and stuff, or even when I first started at Atlanta Motorsports Park was, based off of the customer experience where, my background is entertainment, people having fun, creating fun and escapism for our guests at the lodges. We want people to be outside of their work minds and their personal lives of having problems. Let's create a fun atmosphere where their mind is on something solely where they're at, and that was karting, so that they can just relax and have a good time, but also create a community within what we had, to where every garage person was like helping. Oh, I need parts, whatever I need. Oh, we're in a race day, here's an extra set of tires or a wrench. Even though you're my competitor, I want you out on track to grow it and stuff like that. And we developed a very good, karting community, and just being open with everybody and transparent and making sure everybody, my standard of, I was race director. If I gave Jeffrey a penalty for something, I'm going to give that penalty to somebody else for doing the same thing. I saw a lot of, I don't even know how to explain it, but where the standard wasn't there or consistent enough. And that's why I wanted to do it, because, I grew up doing ball sports and stuff, and there's a rule book set on it. And we, got a good tech in, and that was very important to, make sure nobody's cheating. Never want to ever DQ somebody and give them the opportunity to get back out there or fix it before the finals. A lot of that stuff wasn't happening, and we were able to reverse that. And Eli Bearden was an awesome help there, and I got connected with Xander Clements very early, and he was a godsend, helping me learn this at a very fast rate, to be able to build what we've built at not only AMP but other tracks as well, and it's going phenomenal here as well.
Xander is a great wealth of knowledge. I've been very blessed and thankful to be able to bend his ear every now and then. We bounce ideas off each other periodically. Obviously, he sees things through, a different set of glasses than the rest of us, being in the position that he's in, and obviously lending from his previous experience. He's really done a lot to elevate our sport, make it more of a forefront for motorsports in general. We are a motorsport now. We're not just go-karting. Um, and Kart Chasers really helped our sport come to the limelight and be a focal point to a lot of people that never would have thought about us. So, yeah, Xander has really done a lot to help our sport grow and help our sport get the exposure it desperately needed. Um, you guys have the track that's currently there, and you made some modifications to that track. What all has been done to the track that's currently on the grounds?
Yeah, so the first thing we did when I purchased the property, I hired an asphalt engineer and we redid the asphalt on the kart track. So it's super smooth. It should last for years and years and years. We kept the configuration the way it was, but we put in, concrete rumble strips. We put in curbing. We put in a digital light system, track system that our customers love. It's been super safe. It requires less people on the track flagging people and potential risks there, but it's also just really easy for people to follow. And then we put in just a full set of barriers, and the track itself already had lights. So it was an oval with a road course. It's about, in the current setting, about 10 turns. And then we added some lights in the back, temporary until we add permanent lights. That will be part of our next phase also. But we renovated about, we had 42,000 square feet of buildings on the property. We've renovated all but 15. The remaining 15 is going to be part of, phase 2 with the second track. And like Lucas said, I had a very customer service focused background. And the way that we did this and renovated things is we wanted it to be extremely customer friendly. We wanted people to feel like, this is really special coming here, from the people working here to the aesthetics of the building, and just to make sure that the flow and everything work really well. I got this idea from Whiteland. I built a giant pavilion. I think it's about 40 feet wide by 120
yeah.
feet on the grid, because there was no respite
Yes.
from the heat out here on race days. So now our customers have shade, they have heating and air. Like all of our retail and karting space has been fully renovated.
That's one thing that here in Mississippi, we don't have any go-karting here, so you know.
Yeah.
We did have a track in
Yep.
Jackson, Mississippi, and we get
Yep.
that they're going to redo it. They're not going to redo it. I got them a grant. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
over it. But one of
Yeah.
the biggest challenges here is the heat. I mean, we can't race past June. There's just no way.
Yep.
And there was no shade.
Yeah.
So yes, that pavilion is definitely well appreciated by everyone who comes to your facility. I can attest to that.
Yeah. I kind of did that for myself, but I knew everybody else would like it.
So,
sure.
Daniel, we have a slide with the blueprint of the future. So tell me about this, its location, where it's going to be, and how you came to this concept.
Yeah, so we have 35 total acres. And this track here was designed by Bob Barnard. Bob is originally from the UK. He currently lives in Spain.
Yep.
You'll know Bob because he's the one that helped Justin Marks and Eric Jones do Trackhouse. Although GoPro's a copy of a track in northern Italy, Parma, but he helped them bring that to life here in the States. Bob also was one of the persons consulted when they had some issues with the Miami GP, its first season here in the US. He was on that team to fix that, and he just finished doing Apex Motor Club, which is a high-end kind of Atlanta Motorsports Park in Phoenix, Arizona. And Bob and I just really connected, and we got along great. And I wanted a track that was simple. I've just been enamored by these tracks all over Europe, whether it's Sarno. I mean, I can name 100 of them. Another track I love is Genk, which is in Belgium. And I just said, I want something that's going to be a driver's track, because we're going to have the rental track. I just want something that's going to be a driver's track. I don't need 100 configurations. I want something that'll be fast, technical, but most importantly, I want it to be safe.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, safety is first. So that's big for us. And Bob, actually, next door to us, they're building about 180-acre automobile country club, kind of like the car side of AMP. So they'll have a 2.5-mile car track. They'll have garage condos, event space, and he's also doing that track as well. So in terms of just making everything kind of sync up together, whether it's paving and site work, it just made sense to partner with him.
I just had somebody send me a message about if there would be a big road racing course, and I had to tell him that no, this is a sprint complex. But now I guess I can say, hey, I hope you're watching.
Yeah,
because
Tennessee Downs. It's gonna be very beautiful.
And being a road racer, you piqued my interest. At we're doing a lot more with our team road racing because of we just don't have a sprint track available here anymore. But we can't wait to come there. Like I said, I'm going to do all I can to be there at your October event. I don't know if I'll be able to stay both days, but we're definitely coming up to see the place, and we're bringing our crew with us. It does happen to be the same day as Road Tax, so unfortunately, a couple competitors that can't make that. But we definitely look forward to coming in and partaking. When are you going to break ground on the second configuration?
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is we want to do it right. So my track designer is also a civil engineer and an asphalt engineer. So in order to do it right, we don't want to do the site work and let it sit for long. We just finished the soil study. So our plans will probably break ground in the spring and then try to pave it right at the beginning of the summer. The temperature has to be 70 degrees for 24 hours straight. So that here is about May, late April,
and then it has to cure.
Yeah, not for long though. The way he does this, it's really not more than a month at the most, probably 2 weeks.
Oh, wow, that is impressive. I know that when we were researching it here, Mississippi, I mean, we have weeks of triple-digit heat. It's blissful.
Exactly.
And that was a challenge because, like you said, it has to be 72 degrees for 24 hours. And we didn't have that. We have that in February.
Yeah, and he'll do the asphalt. I mean, the asphalt he's building will be able to withstand the heat, which is important. Obviously, with the G-forces of these karts, we wanted to build a track that we won't have to touch for 15 or 20 years.
Keanu, he says, let them know who's coming. So we have a
Yeah.
new driver, and
Oh, fun.
he's confident and ambitious and enthusiastic.
Let's
So
go.
yeah, we will definitely be bringing him up with us. Um, Tell us about your race program, Lucas. How many entries are you currently seeing on an average?
Yes, we're somewhere right around like the 120 mark. Last race was our biggest by far. We had 150, but I think the race before that we finished right at 131. So steady increase. I think the first race was crazy, but we got through it. I literally dropped my family off at the airport. That was my first day of work. Was the race day? I dropped them off. I got here at 9 o'clock. Went straight into the drivers' meeting, and I think even that one we were pretty close to 100
yeah.
entries.
8 states.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
8 different states where everybody traveled from. So we're averaging probably around 120, 130 if you had to put it dead in the middle.
What's your highest entry count so far?
Last race was 150 entries flat.
And how long has this program been in existence?
The first one was my first day, which was March 14th.
Wow. Wow. How many
Yeah.
entries did you have March 14th?
I think it was right at 98, 99, somewhere right at the 100 mark. I think Jeffrey's goal was like 75, 80-ish was the goal, and then we blew that out of the water, and learned a lot that first race day. We improved a lot of things. That's one thing that I take very serious is customer feedback. We do adapt. We do let everybody give their voice on what the program should see or what they want to see. Obviously, we can't make all those requests happen, but we try to be very aggressive to make a lot of them do happen.
So do you guys have an on-site pro shop?
We do.
And what kind
Yep, it's in our main building. It's kind of towards the back of it. You got to walk through the event space, but we do have a pro shop that's
About
pretty much full
2,500 square
service.
feet.
and what brands, what are you guys dealing? Do you have a specific chassis you're working with?
Yeah, I mean, so our rental carts are CRG, so we carry the CRG carts, but we carry Top Kart, Tony Kart, Kart
Oh,
Republic.
wow.
As
Yep.
well as Tillotson.
The Tillotson has been huge for us. I just was telling somebody I'd sent out 7 estimates for Tillotson carts. We've already sold about 6 of them.
It's a great program.
7
The
more in
T4
the
program
queue.
is absolutely wonderful. We've
Yeah.
been involved
Yeah, so
for a
we are
while.
a T4 complex now. Yeah, so we're a T4 complex.
And
We're excited to grow that. And then, all the, we're an MG tire dealer and just all the other parts that people need, stands. We have, we're a Bell and OMP dealer. So we have pretty much everything everybody could need to
that's
get
absolutely
karting.
wonderful. A little bit about Tillotson's obviously one of our sponsors. We know that T4 Nations Cup is going to be taking place that first weekend October. One of our
Yep.
drivers has won the last ticket through Macron Motorsports up there at
Oh,
and
yeah.
he will be venturing over. We're very proud of Derek Wargo. We'll be talking a little bit about that here in just a little bit, but will you be running a full T4 program as far as a concentrated class?
Yes.
We already started it this year. Last race was our first race having it as the program. I think we had 11 entries in it. So Jake Motaz came up with his group from Florida. We had about 5 drivers locally that had purchased carts from us, as well as I think 3 or 4 on the arrive and drive with Jake, as well as 2 drivers from Florida came up and competed. Looking this way this weekend as well.
Outstanding. Now, Talladega Grand Prix, which is in obviously Alabama, they are a bike track. They also have 7 or 8 T4s at their facility. You might want to reach out to them and say, "Hey, come on up, and maybe we'll come on down."
Great idea.
Jake, I know,
Yep.
was very instrumental in facilitating their needs and selling their product to them. Great track. The
Yeah.
people that run the place are really wonderful. They're very receptive to karting. It's kind of a haul to get over there, but it's a nice facility. Camping is very nice.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a program that you guys can grow together. It's a little bit bigger track, a little bit over a mile and a quarter, but very fast track and a lot of fun. So if you do reach out, it's Talladega Grand Prix, and they would like to grow their T4 program for sure. But yeah, we will. There's a T4 in my shop, so maybe we'll when we come up, we'll throw somebody in it. There you go, Keanu. You're on deck. That's your ride, buddy.
Yeah.
Anything else that you would like to share with us before you leave us for this evening?
I don't think so. I mean, I think one thing that we really try to do here is we want people to feel like they're special and they matter here. It's certainly no matter what you get into, whether it's motorsports or not, if you're new to it, a lot of times, there's jargon and people won't kind of talk to you at the level that you kind of need the guidance and help on to get into karting. And that's just really something Lucas and I put a lot of time and energy. We want people's, there's no dumb questions here. We're willing to even answer the most basic questions because we want people to have a great experience. And because of the amazing experience we've had, Lucas's son is now karting and that I've had with my children, we just want to give as many people that experience as possible. And in the meantime, if they're not ready, we just have a wonderful, rental kart program for them to have fun and compete until they're ready to be in their own
I
kart.
think it's absolutely wonderful what you guys are doing. I've heard so many compliments from people who have visited, people who have come up to race. David Brock called me one day and said, "Yeah, we excuse me, we got the chance to go. It was a wonderful facility. It was a great experience." Do you guys think you'll be growing anything to the vintage market?
I'm actually been discussing stuff with I forget the name right now. It just came up last week that there's some interest there. Pretty much we're good putting anything on track as long as the entry count makes sense. If there's only going to be 2 drivers in that class, it doesn't really make sense. But if we can get a commit of 5 to 8 of them, which I think we got for possibly the October race, we definitely look to do something with them. I think that's a whole nother market that's not really existing right now over here. So anything that can add to the exposure of just getting people into it. A lot of those guys still have karts from 20 years that have just been in the shop or in their garage just sitting collecting dust and didn't even know that we were here and maybe come out of the woodworks and get active again. So there's not much of anything that I say no to immediately, especially with the race program and how well it's doing right now. I think if we start doing that, we'll be getting in trouble. So I don't want to do that.
You have a lot of karting heritage in the state of Tennessee, a lot. You have a lot of legendary people in the state. You have a lot of people that are still active in karting, and I'm sure they are incredibly happy to see this track doing so well. Gentlemen, if you ever have anything cool you want to share, any announcements, anything that you would like to get out there, please reach out. We're happy to have you on the podcast. And I thank you for your time, and I look forward to meeting you soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time. So now we get to go to another segment, and this is why we've kind of been helter-skelter today. It's my fault. We have some pretty big announcements. We have some cool things coming down the pike. Hand me my... I won't dare open this in the studio. My gosh, I'll put... my luck, I'd take a light out in Daniel's studio, and then I wouldn't be welcome back. David Twatty, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
So for those that do not know who Mr. Twatty is, I'm going to allow him to tell us.
Okay. Well, I've been just a lonely race car driver for the past 35 years. Loving every single minute of it. Making a living of it for about 20 years straight. This is actually the only thing I do. So it's been an amazing ride.
You're living the dream.
I really am living the dream to the point that 3 years ago, we bought the FARA series. So now not only am I racing cars, team owner, but now I am a series owner. And the reason why we're here talking.
David and I met about 3-4 years ago.
More.
Yeah.
This was like 2019.
Yeah. And I have followed this crazy man's career in his online presence. And what you people see online is exactly what you are seeing with as the man that you meet, as the man that he is. What's up, people? That is David Twatty, and his whole crew is a blast. Every time they're at a track that I know somebody's near, please go to the track, go see David, go see Trish, go see the crew. And every time these people come back, go, oh my gosh, they're a blast. And they get stuff done, and they're fast, and their stuff is so cool. And I want to be part of that. I want to be part of that. So I called David. I said, "David, I got an idea. I'm into karting. We got kids, we got talent. I have this little company called Drive Your Line. I got another little company called Motorsport Talent Development that we started this year. I wanna introduce my people to your people. How do we do that?"
Well, this, how we're gonna do it. Be very easy. We're gonna call each other and we're gonna say this kid has talent. The parents are backing them up. They want to go to the next step and they don't know how. So
Right.
that's all me. We have taken kids as young as 12 years old to run in our Formula Fara series. We have taken kids 12 and 13 years old to do this Prospect Miata that we created 2 years ago and has been a huge success. We run GT cars, we run Porsches, we run Aston Martins, BMWs, some of the nicest GT cars in the world we get to drive and take care of at our shop. And with our racing series, we've been able to really grow our programs from academy to the licensing, which is one of the biggest things. A lot of karting kids call me locally here from the Homestead Speedway, and they're like, "What do I do next?" And the parents are lost. So we try to guide them. There's many different levels and budgets and series and cars, and it can get very confusing. Same as cards. So you need somebody that you trust, somebody that they trust, to be able to guide them to the next step. And that's what Christy and I are trying to put together here. Not trying, we're putting together
No, it's done. We're doing it. This
uh,
is it. It's coming.
to be able to go to the next step and guide the kids and guide the parents, more important, how to help your kids. So that is something that I do regardless and have been doing because I love to see the young talent come. And, the older I get, the faster I was, unfortunately.
And
It,
the faster they get.
I never thought that would actually happen, and it's happened. For the first time a couple of years ago, which drove me to the gym, one of my customers started beating me regularly. This young 22-year-old kid. I was like, oh my God, I had enough. I went to the gym. I got a trainer. I'm like, you gotta put me in shape. I gotta beat this kid. So it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun to pass the baton, as you say, and see the new generation growing to the sport and making money, coaching, winning races. It's an adventure that I like to be a part of, and our team likes to be a part of. My partner David and Trish, they love running the team. I mean, I get to work every day, and I'm like, this is really work. I'm at a shop full of race cars, and
Love what you do and never work a day in your life.
it is an unbelievable experience, and I definitely try to instill that in my kids. They're both actors. I told them, go act. Just you never know, so try it. And they're doing it. So same thing with the kids. You want to be a Formula One driver? The only one that can tell you no is yourself, because
That's
everybody.
right. That's right.
But you gotta try. You have, the next Formula One champion, the next Daytona 24-hour champion has to come from somewhere. So why not you?
So, if anyone saw my last podcast, my biggest complaint, and like Mike Tetro said, "Man, that was a monologue."
Hmm.
These parents are paying 3, 4, 5, $600,000 to race a friggin' go-kart for an amateur award that's made out of plastic. And a lot of times, people have that kind of money, they're always gonna have that kind of money. A kid's going somewhere. But for a majority of the people who are in karting, that's not available to them. But common sense is and having an ideal plan from the beginning and having the follow through to see it to success is exactly what you need. You don't need to spend $20,000 a weekend at a national. You need the background, you need the education, you need the seat time. Nobody buys their way into everything. Nobody. You gotta have some talent, but you don't have to blow the kind of money that some of these parents are blowing to get to that level. And I was just talking to someone today. I said, "You know what? If you're in a tent, you're blowing $10,000 a weekend, that engine builder's still only making what he's making. The chassis manufacturer is still only making what they're making. The tire manufacturer is still only making what they're making. So who's making all of this other money? And is it really worth it? Why would you not want to invest it into the future past karting and now you have a growth plan. Why would that not be a reality?
Very true. Very true. I mean, investing is like life. You make a little, you put a little away, and then you see it grow. And
Yep.
if you to invest in, like many people our age, they're invested into their retirements. I wish somebody. I wish I would have met you 40 years ago, Christy, and you would away.
We'd still be racing together, you know?
Yeah, for your racing, future racing. And of course, the stuff that we now know, it's what we're trying to pass along to the
Yes.
generation. And that's the entire reason why we've got together. Make sure that the new generation has a sustainable plan of where you're going to go. And if you're going to spend a couple of years in the cards, a couple of years in Spec Miata, a couple of years in GT racing, and grow from there. And I am a prime example of making money from zero. I had zero. I was 20 years ago when I started TLM racing, I was broke. And I went to the track with I went to meet my partner, and I had an old BMW. He helped me build it up, and I told him literally these words. I said, "David, my partner name is David also." I said, "David, I need to start renting this car, coaching out of it, racing it, doing something because I have zero income." And he did. He literally scraped off a piece of his desk, took all the stuff out, threw it away, and says, "Okay, start Twatty racing right here." And that quickly became TLM, which is Twatty Leda Motorsports. We started renting the car, and I told him, from now on, you and I are no longer sportsmen. We are now going to the track only if we come back with a check. So I started calling all my old IMSA buddies and say, "Hey, I have this car. Why don't you come race the FATA race locally with me for one eighth what it would cost to do an IMSA race?" And they were all my buddies, and they said, "Yeah, let's go." So we went to the track, won the race, came home with like 500, $600. We were like, "Oh my god, we came home with money from the track." That never,
What an idea.
but that was the turning point in my life. To be honest, it saved my life. It now it's a flourishing business. I wouldn't give it up for the world, and I can't believe I didn't start it 20 years earlier. But that was the plan. Like you said, you have to have a plan and you have to stick with it. We refused to go to the track just to spend the money. We went to the track with a purpose. Now when we spend money, we go because we are advertising. We go because we have, clients to court. We go, there is a purpose why you go to the track. So for these young kids right now, you have to have a plan. If you're going to do Spec Miata for a year, then you go to the track and you live the Spec Miata, you do the sim, you study, you make sure you get everything you can. And the payment for all the young kids doing the Spec Miatas now, or any of those feeder series, is going to be your markability. Get on the Facebook, get on Instagram, get on TikTok, do your videos, show the people what you're doing, show them that you're progressing, show them that you have a face that people like. Trust me, they're going to. When I started saying "what's up, people," I said it for fun, and it has become a thing.
Yeah.
people
I
now
mean, I remembered it.
people now call me just and scream that on the phone to me, and it has become my calling card. I mean, it's on my suit, it's on my race car. People know me for that, and it became a thing out of nowhere. But that's, I've had sponsors that want me to do videos that start with that. If I get on the podium and I don't say "what's up, people look at me like, is he mad? Is there something wrong with him?"
What's wrong with David?
Yeah, yeah. And that's how, some of my best friends have come from, is from that tagline. So that's one of the things that we want to teach the kids, the young generation, to be out there, to show their face, to see your attitude, because racing is just one part. There are so many components that you need to have, together, to have a successful career in motorsports.
So just to give everybody an idea, I own Drive Your Line KartSport with my husband, Alan Cox. And we have prided ourselves in not going after the quantity of drivers, but going after quality of drivers. And that doesn't always mean the biggest checkbook, and it doesn't always mean the biggest rig, and it doesn't mean always the best equipment. It means the best heart, the best grit, the fortitude, and the want to do it. And if you're committed, then we're committed. Um, we are not the most expensive team on the grid. We don't wanna be the most expensive team on the grid. I don't want you to leave your parents' life savings at a national. I don't want you to blow your inheritance on a go-kart. I don't want your family to go broke. What I want is for you to get an education. And one of my youngest son said to me one day, he says, "Mom," in case anybody didn't know, I'm a former racehorse trainer, owner, breeder. He says, "When you look at drivers, you look at them the same way that you look at a yearling or a 2-year-old. And it's not a bad thing because you're looking for certain attributes, physical, mental, and emotional. And you're building another professional athlete." And that's exactly what we're doing. We're giving the groundwork for the next step. This isn't life. Karting is not life. It is for me because it's what I do. But if you're looking to become a driver, this is just a stepping stone. But it's a great stepping stone, and it's a hell of an education. And we wanna be able to provide all of that. Walk the walk, talk the talk, be confident, not cocky, and just enjoy everything that you're gonna gain from it. And then when you come in and say, "I wanna go to the next level," we turn around, we say, "All right, here's your game plan. Now we're gonna send you down to David. You're gonna go down and get a license. You're gonna drive with him and his instructors." And David, tell us about your instructor program.
We have quite a few programs. One being our academy for the young karters. Basically, the academy just means running through the licensing school. We don't believe in having the kids jump through hoops. There are many other programs with different series in which you have to go through beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Well, a karter that has been racing for 3, 4, 5 years, they know how to race. The only thing that we make sure is that they know the starting procedure in a race car, make sure they know the flags. We get them through a test day on a Friday. Our chief instructor basically observes them and is able to sign them off and give them a license. If you want to do the complete licensing course, which again, it will be on a case to case basis, then it's a weekend. And it's basically just all of the requirements of flags, starting procedures, black flag procedures, red flag procedures, side by side racing, which again, the go karters already know. So we're going to take everybody on a case by case basis, evaluate them, have our instructors and our chief instructors sign off. If you're good, if you didn't put a wheel wrong, if you didn't put 4 wheels on the dirt and crashed into a wall, then you're going to pass and we're going to go racing. Our racing license and our racing procedures have been approved with SCCA, Trans Am, IGT, SVRA, WRL. So basically, coming to get a FATA license can get you in almost any licensing series, I mean, any racing series in the United States. And that's it. We're going to take you by the hand and we're going to get you coaching. We're going to get you testing. We're going to get you the license and get you racing.
So now that we've discussed all that and all the cool stuff, we have a lot more coming down the pike. There's going to be a lot more that we're going to be announcing. I have a brand new trailer. Alan and I bought this great rig, and we're looking forward to getting it wrapped and really promoting what it is we're doing and the involvement we have with TLM and FARA. One of the first drivers that we will be sending from our team will be Derek Wargo to TLM and FARA to be licensed.
That's fantastic. Met him. Had the pleasure of meeting him and his father at NOLA this weekend. Great kid, great father. We hit it off right away. They saw my WhatsApp people video and said, "Oh, we're like this guy." So we are serious racers with a lot of fun on the side.
So I know that his family is at their home. Um, Derek, his wife Stacy, Deacon, his little brother. So we got another one coming up.
All right.
His grandmother, Deb, and I know that John is at home in Tennessee. He probably just fell over. Guys, we're gonna send Derek to be the next level.
Fantastic.
And we're very proud to say that Drive Your Line is gonna help him get there. And I hope that the rest of the members of our team are anxious to be the next in line. And David, I cannot be more excited for this partnership with you. I hope that other people contact us. This isn't about it's not about us selling more go-karts. It is, but it's not. It's about helping us give a plan to people. There's so much bad information these racers are getting, bad guidance, and a lot of it's just people don't know what they don't know, and that's okay. But when it's people that know better, that pass along bad information, that's not okay, and it costs a lot of people a lot of money, and it's costing a lot of careers, and I hope that we can change that for a lot of racers that are coming up.
I could not have said it better myself. I'm really looking forward to starting this, getting the young kids to come and see where they go, see where they take it. I mean, so many different branches in the business can happen from starting this. I have a young lady who's been racing with us for a while and has a lot of passion, but the lap times are not really there. And she might be going into, race car or team ownership. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, she's doing some also a lot of collaborating with sponsors. So I believe she's gonna go into the business side of the sport, and she's super happy. So there's so many branches. Trish, you met,
Yep.
and she is my right hand woman. She now became our race engineer. Nobody knows the V box like Trish does, and she is now a racing.
Rock star.
That's something that she never thought that she was going to do. Yeah, she's amazing. So there's so many little things, and we had interns from FIU and UCF that came to our shop that have now opened their own business in consulting, in engineering, in data acquisition. So just where it branches off to is it's limitless. It's your imagination. So there's a lot that can happen by joining a group like us.
So I did mention briefly that, motorsports talent development is one of the programs that we have under our Drive Your Line banner. And what that started out as is we have a huge deficit in the motorsports world for staff, whether it's race day staff at a facility, whether it's race day staff on a team, pit crews, up in the tower, scoring, timing, tech, anybody on any position on a racing organization, you have to find those people somewhere. So when we developed this program, we also realized there are a lot of kids that enjoy motorsports. The availability of racing or driving is just not going to happen, or they're not interested. So now we have kart shop class at our shop teaching these kids to wrench. They're there every month. The kids that have been with us since the first class 4 months ago now have the availability to come in weekly. They're working on carts, carburetors, clutches, chassis. They do everything. Here pretty soon, they're gonna dominate, tire changing because I hate tire changing. Um, I need Rhett to come up and teach them how to rip the tires off and back on. They're virtually impossible. But that is another avenue for us to help filter these young talents down to Florida, come down, work with you guys, maybe come to the shop for a few days, learn what it's like to be involved in a team, and get involved in that professional aspect.
Yeah, we have a lot of flying when we go to the endurance races. We have obviously about 4 or 5 mechanics at the shop, doing everything from welding to engine changes to setup, suspension setup to rebuilding to decals to whatever you can name it. And we've had quite a few kids come through our shop that have gone on to other pro teams or opening their own shops. So again, the sky's the limit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, obviously, people are always worried about expense. If I have a student that wants to come down, spend a day with you, do some instruction on track, not a race day, maybe talk about licensing, what does that financially look like?
Depends on the car. I mean, you would have to rent a car in order to be able to do the testing day. We started with the spec Miatas, and coaching and the car included is about $3,500. Plus,
That's reasonable.
normally we try to piggyback with either the Homestead Driving Club, which is I think 750 for the day, or one of the Chin events, PDG events. local, groups that have the track, or FARA, and those are about $400 a day. And then, from there, again, you go up to BMW M2s are like $4,800. You have the Porsche Cup cars, which is like $12,000. And you go, depending on your budget. But yes, we can start the kids with the Spec Miatas
You know
or
what
the
they say, how fast do you wanna go?
it,
How much money you gonna
or,
spend?
yep, that's always been true. Unfortunately, somebody's got to pay the invoice, but it's not crazy. And with the numbers you're telling me that the kids are spending in cards, you can probably race a couple of years in FARA and not
Oh
spend
my gosh, it's ridiculous.
Hmm?
Absolutely ridiculous.
A
Um,
Spec Miata in our Pro Series would probably cost you somewhere around $80,000 to $90,000, and that is top equipment, new tires, new
that's
trans.
the season for a week, for a month, how give us a time frame on that.
No, that's the we're talking 7 or 8 weekends with 3 to 4 races per weekend. A lot of track time.
So I hope you parents are listening to this. He just told you that your kid can go race in a car series at real racetracks. We're not talking, little bull ring somewhere, with real instruction and a real team, and get a real education for a fraction of what you're spending in go-karts right now.
Yep. Yep. Actually, you can probably run the M2. The M2 would probably cost somewhere around 160. The Miatas, you're looking at about 80 to 90. The M2 CSR, factory build race cars,
Mhm.
for about 160 to do the full year uh, in the FARA series. And again, we have 3 full half-hour races, plus testing, plus qualifying, on slick tires, the real deal. Um,
And this is a full weekend. This isn't just a one and done. This is the full meal
Friday,
deal, man.
Friday 4 sessions, Saturday and Sunday racing, trophy presentation, big blowout. Most of them are live streamed. So no, the full experience.
I love it. I'm so fired up. I can't wait to get started. I am going down to see David and the crew at TLM and Farah in October. October's going to be a really busy month for me and Alan, poor guy. Um, I can't wait. We're going to go down and we're going to really get pen to paper and figure out exactly every dotted I, every terrace T, how we want this to mold, shift, and create the next generation of racer. If you have any questions, you would like to get on board, you would like more information, don't hesitate to call the shop 601-287-9197, or you can contact me at Christy@driveyourline.com. Obviously, look us up at driveyourline.com and tlmusa.com. Farah Racing. Hey, Greg Speed. Absolutely a well-run program.
It's
Love Farah.
FARAUSA.com. FARAUSA.com is a
There you
website.
go.
And by the way, we were talking about instructors before. Just so you know, one of my partners in FARA, it's a former national champion that liked so much what we were doing with the Prospect Miatas that he bought into the series with us.
That's amazing.
Has been with us for the past 3 years, flourishing. So and he does a lot of coaching. He's an expert with the AIM system, and he's obviously a past national champion and winner of everything you can possibly think of in IMSA and SRO, World Challenge, all kinds of stuff. Todd Burris, my friend and partner, and he's one of our coaches. So we're not cherry picking from the bottom of the barrel.
No, no, not at all. And
Really,
and
the
and
top.
for those of you who don't know, David doesn't just stop at FARA. I mean, they compete in IMSA, WRL. I mean, tell us the other series that you guys also compete in.
Yeah, we've done IMSA, SRO. I'm currently running in the Porsche Sprint Challenge. I did the Carrera Cup in Miami last year. We do WRL, which is amazing endurance racing. And we do Champ Car. We have lots of customers that like to do the Champ Car series. Again, because it's 14 hours around like
Oh,
Daytona,
yeah.
and the FATA series. So yeah, we're very busy. We are out probably 36 to 40 weekends a year
Woo!
running around the country.
David, I'm so excited to partner with you guys. Thank you for listening to my crazy ideas.
I
Thank
love
you for having the same crazy ideas. Um, I can't wait to really get this ball rolling. Guys, I appreciate all of your time and, taking time to put up with the little delays here and there. This was all worth it. I'm really proud to say that Derek Wargo will be our first that we send down, and I look forward to sending the kids that are also on our team and giving them opportunities as those arise. Is there anything else that you can share with us, David, that you really would like to announce or get out there?
Just keep an eye on what we're doing. Be a part of it. If you have any questions, I am one of the mainly the one that runs the Instagram page for FADA and for TLM. So if you guys want to reach out, you have any questions, you want to get ahead of the curve and find out what you need to know, please reach out. I'm always available. I love talking racing. That's all I do all day, every day. My wife is super tired of it. That's all I do. I get home from a race weekend and I put on the Formula One race. It's just yes, it's an addiction. But you know what? Out of all the addictions you can have, is probably one of the safest one. Maybe the
Yeah,
most.
it is. It is. I tell people all the time, I sell one of the most expensive drugs in the world, and it's highly addictive. We
Yep.
go fast and have fun. David, I appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much for partnering with us. Guys, I'm gonna call that a night. Drive Your Line podcast is growing. We're moving, shaking, and risk taking. I love the fact that my motorsports talent development group is absolutely exploding. Drive Your Line KartSport is coming into its own, and I can't do any of this without Daniel, my right-hand man here in the booth, Tillotson Racing, Boxo USA, AKRA, traileralarms.com, and Superior Synthetic Oil from FHS. And also, don't forget the spicy stuff from Doorstep Peppers. Guys, don't just look at our sponsors. Please support them. They support us, they support you. We look forward to seeing y'all next month, and we got a lot to bring you in October. Until then, keep racing, stay fast.